Hello everybody and welcome to the SEGA News Bits. I'm your host George, and today we're going to be talking about the Fist of the North Star demo that came out in Japan, or as they call it in Japan, Hokuto ga Gotoku. And I screwed that up and I'm sorry. I know, don't turn off the video. I'm sorry, alright? I apologize. The demo came out in Japan. I forgot the size of the demo. It's probably like 5 gigabytes, 6 gigabytes. But the demo had 2 modes in it, right? One of the first modes, which we're going to be talking about, is intro to like the gameplay system. So basically in this one you're like in a castle and the boss is Shin, and he goes up to the top of the castle and you have to fight these bad guys in every level until you get to them. And each level they kind of tell you the basics, and it's basically the same system as Yakuza 0 and the other Yakuza games in terms of the buttons you use on the controller, but the actual system is actually changed. So in this one you can unleash combos very easy. It's more animated. Like if you just press square, you just like whatever they call that move in the anime. So that's pretty cool and it's very animated. The Fist of the North Star game actually is more heavy on like heat moves, or I don't even know if they call them heat moves on here, but basically anytime you see the top of the life of bar of the bad guys, anytime there's like a circle, you'll be able to like hit them with your like pressure point, and then they won't be able to move, and then you can press circle again, then you do like a heat move animation thing. And if you build them up, your little thing on the corner, I don't even know what it is because I've never seen the anime or read the manga, but it's like the star constellation. You'll start filling them up, and then when it's filled up, you'll be able to press R2 and you'll power up to like Kaioken from Dragon Ball Z, and then your shirt rips off and you're freaking muscly as hell, you know. And then you'll be able to unleash massive damage, and you'll even be able to like jump and like kick them in the midair. So that's pretty cool. There's a lot of cool things you could do. It's more animated, and the gameplay system in this is really smooth. It's 60 frames per second. It's using the same system as Yakuza 0, so it feels very smooth. And while the game is 60 frames per second and it looks great in combat, there are times where if there's too many bad guys on screen or too much action's happening, that it does slow down, and that's kind of bad. I mean, because it's really noticeable. I don't know, it's obviously like below 30 frames per second sometimes, but it's very fast and then it goes back. That's kind of bad because I don't think the game's graphics are that great. I hope they fix it for the retail version, and this is just a demo. We'll have to see about that. And another thing that I found kind of annoying about this is there's so much heat moves in this game. You always have to do a quick time event, and it's kind of annoying after a while when you do like 100 of them, you know, like in a row. It's like, oh cool, I have to do QTE every single time to get that extra damage. So that's kind of annoying, and I'm not very happy with the QTE, especially since this is kind of abusing the heat moves. I wish they would kind of cut that down and just let me look at the cool moves that I'm doing. When you get to the top, you get to fight Shin, and you get to go crazy on him, and it was actually a pretty cool fight to see. So that's that. It's very short, this section. The next section you get to play is you get to play in Eden. You get to talk to a character named Bat from the manga in anime, and you have to go to like a junk shop, and then you have to like, you know, do a lot of these errand missions they do in Yakuza games. You'll get a car finally when you finish the errand mission. You'll do a couple fights. When you get your car, this is actually the more interesting part of the game, I think, because they show you the driving mechanic that this game is going to have. So one of the modes in here is a racing mode where you could race your car in a lap. So you get 1 lap, right? That's pretty cool. The car handles actually better than I assumed, because a lot of these Yakuza games, like when you have these side car games, you're like, oh, it handles okay. Like the Yakuza 5 taxi missions were very like tedious, I would say. The car missions here are like very heavy cars, obviously. So it just handles fine. It doesn't handle like, oh, this is a better version of Forza or anything like that. It's very heavy, I guess I could say, right? The controls are very heavy on this game. It handles just fine. You could do nice little drift moves and stuff. And then there's another mode basically where you get to explore the wasteland with your car. So basically the only thing stopping you is your gas meter. Once your gas meter gets to empty, you'll have to come back to the wasteland. So you could actually leave your car, but you can't leave too far from your car, because if you deviate from your car, then it forces you to come back to your car. So the way this works is you'll drive in the wasteland and you'll see like green little markers where you'll be able to pick up junk. And I'm assuming with this junk, you'll be able to craft stuff to build your car and make it faster. There's also like red ones where I guess it's more rare items. And then there'll also be bad guys driving around too, and if they hit you, you'll have to get into a fight. So this is kind of like the same thing as when you play Yakuza and they run into you in the streets and you're forced into a battle. So they have this in this game too, even in the Wasteland. The game also has these like D-pad powers. Instead of like putting weapons in your D-pad like you do in Yakuza, where you can bring them out anytime you want. In this game, you have a D-pad where you call out allies to do a certain action. There's one where one of the guys gives you a flamethrower. There's another one where a guy comes and gives you a power where you can kill a bunch of the characters on screen. And then there's the one where Bat comes out and repairs your vehicle. These powers also have a cooldown, like sometimes there's 10 minutes, sometimes they're 5 minutes. It depends on the power and how powerful it is. And I think that in the game you'll be able to get new powers as you level up and meet new people. And while you're driving in the desert, you'll be able to pick from tracks. At least in this demo, there's 3 tracks that let you pick from. One of the tracks is Receive You. This is a remix just for Fist of the North Star, which is a popular Yakuza track. There's also a Binary Domain background music track and a Super Monkey Ball track in here for, you know, the background music. And that's pretty cool. I want to see what other older games they're getting tracks in this game. That'd be pretty cool. I like the idea that they're bringing their old games soundtrack back. That's good. That's pretty cool. I like that. It's a fan service. I like fan service. And then you get to explore Eden a little bit, you know, between these missions and before you get into the car. They blocked off a lot of sections, so it's hard for me to tell you what you could do here and what you can't do. But the game looks great. There's some parts that where I was like, oh, that doesn't look that great cel-shaded. Like the cel-shaded little like filter they have going on here over the 3D graphics. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but most of the time it works just fine. As far as the gameplay system, I really like the fighting. It's like really over the top and fun. It's a lot more wacky than Yakuza, which is kind of weird because Yakuza 0 is pretty wacky when it comes to its gameplay system, especially its fighting system. So it's cool that they're doing that with this game and they're making it just a little notch over the top. As far as the driving goes, it feels fine. It's not like perfected or anything like that, but it feels like you're driving, and the outside wasteland exploring things actually seems pretty fun. They have showed in trailers that you could find like arcade cabinets and like a Mark III SEGA machine, and then you could bring them back and then play them whenever you want. So I want to see what you'll be able to find out there, and I'm assuming there's gonna be a lot of Easter eggs, so I'm pretty excited for this part of the game. As far as the game coming west, they haven't announced it, but I have a feeling that in March next month we'll probably get something because they're doing a event for Yakuza 6. I have a feeling that Sega's just waiting to release Yakuza 6 before they announce anything new for the future of this franchise, especially since this game is so much like Yakuza games that I think they're afraid that if they release them too close together with another Yakuza game, that people will just get turned off by Yakuza games. I know they have Yakuza Kiwami 2 they haven't announced for the West, and this one, so I hope one of them makes it over. I have a feeling for sure Kiwami 2 will make it over, and I really hope this one makes it over because it's actually really fun, and the slight changes and over-the-topness really kind of bring it home to a totally different level and makes it feel fresh. But that's what I think about the demo. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the demo. Have you played it? Are you going to play it? It's out now and it's free to play on the Japanese store. Making a Japanese PSN account is easy. I recommend it. If you like this channel, subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next video. See you guys.